but it's supposed to be the same thing. Or if you just type the mark, you have this guy, Jan Williams. Now, Jan Williams is who I originally grabbed the code from. I took a look at it, I saw some bugs, I reached out to him, and I told him, hey, mathematical bug here and here, which makes it a little bit inaccurate. So he fixed those, and then I ended up writing my own for some more like advanced features of it. The only other place to really get this indicator is on a Bloomberg terminal with a trader package. So the Bloomberg terminal is $2,000 a month. Trader package is an additional $500 a month. This is where I learned it, because I used to have a Bloomberg terminal. And yeah, so most people can't afford that. So your next best alternative is to write the code yourself, because the math is not hard. Programming that math is a little bit tricky because of all of the conditions, especially programming in a primitive coding base like Pine of TradingView. Right. Anyway, so you can get them for free from others. I'm not gonna. It's just too big of a crowd. I just don't want to be responsible for handing mine out to like this many people. But to my private consultants, I give this code, and then I throw them into like a chat group where they can talk about it amongst themselves. And anyway, so let me get back to the article here. Let me talk about the math. The math is fairly simple. So this was designed a long time ago. Wall Street really likes this indicator. I know that for a fact. So here are the rules. The rules are not complicated. Okay. So let's talk about a sell signal. This is if I zoom in more and then move it to the side, does that help? Maybe it helps a little. Maybe people all the way on the front side can see it, but oh wait, I can raise this. There. Okay, excellent. A little bit like that. Yeah. All right, that's good now. So you have a buy and a perfection buy. They're very similar. This is all on my website, by the way. I mean, there's you just go to libertylecture.com, learning, click on the name of the indicator, and this will show up. This is where I got it from. Like to get this article, so there's really no need for pictures. It's just on my website, and all you have to do is click on the word on the market indicator, and then you get it. So no reason. So you have a buy and a perfection buy. They're almost the same. The way I distinguish them in my code is one has a dark red arrow if it's a perfection sell in this case. Red arrow means a perfection sell, and if that red arrow is more orange, like there, see the orange? So the orange arrow is just a sell, a red arrow is a perfection sell. And there's a small difference between them from the math. So there is a TD setup, which is, I have it as the count on top of the bars. Bloomberg has it differently. I purposely made my code different. Made it not look the same. You alter it a little bit, and maybe I'm not infringing. So TD setup is the numbers above the candles. TD countdown is the numbers below the candles. This is an advanced indicator, by the way. Like 80% of professional traders don't even know it exists. So nobody in crypto knew it existed before me, maybe like 3 people, maybe. The buy indication is after prices have been going down. The sell indication is after prices have been going up. Bitcoin generally goes up, so you're going to see way more of these than you're going to see of those. And what you need is, for a regular signal, you need 9 consecutive price bar closes that are less than the close 4 price bars earlier. Okay? So you're comparing the close of a candle to the close of a candle 4 days earlier. And if you get 9 of those to the downside, you get a 9. If you get 9 of those to the upside, again, you get a 9. So it's basically showing you that momentum of traders can only last for so long. So prices go up for like 9 days straight, and the momentum of buying just gets exhausted, and it needs to take a break, okay? So that's why you have a TD9 sell after it's been going up, you have a TD9 buy after it's been going down. So that's a sell signal after it's been going up, so these show up way more often. What makes it a perfection is that the price of bar 8, okay, so let's talk about the buy. So the perfection sell is the price of bar 8 or 9, the tip, the wick, the intra-candle high of bar 8 or 9 is greater than both bars 6 and 7, okay? And this is the TD setup, and I'll talk about the countdown after. The rules of the countdown, the reason why the countdown is way more difficult to program is that it doesn't have to be consecutive. Like the countdown is not on consecutive bars. And the countdown only begins after the setup. So the setup kicks off the countdown. So let's take a look at the chart. And this is the weekly chart, okay? And the reason why I have two of them is, this is also the reason why I love this, and the reason why I hate Elliott wave. How many of you know Elliott wave? Trading, okay. Keep your hands up, keep your hands up. How many of you are generally familiar with what Elliott wave indicator is? Okay. How many of you actually use it? Keep your hand up. One, maybe, okay. So the reason why I hate Elliott wave and I will never teach it is because Elliott wave changes things that happened in the past. Like if tomorrow the price did something, your Elliott wave can adjust how it looked like in the past based on the future. I can't stand that in my analysis. What happened in the past has to be what's in the past. Nothing ever works. Like Elliott wave is one of those things that it's never wrong. It's always right. Right, because if you change the history, you're always going to be right. Which is why I think it's the worst tool for trading. Something like this, the moment a candle closes, the number will never ever change. It's just there. It's either it helped you or it didn't help. And the reason I have two of them is because this past numbers don't really matter. And if I zoom out, like, see, all I see is like just these 9s, generally at the very tops before it fell, which is why I like it. But for educational purposes, I turn on the one that shows you the number on each candle. And you can see right here, you have a perfection sell on this candle where Bitcoin hit the all-time high of 3,000. It so happens that this is the weekly candle that closes on a Sunday. And it so happens that I was doing my market analysis video that Sunday. Those of you that follow my YouTube know that I like doing these on Sunday. And this just felt like 9 consecutive updates to me from past experience. And it was on this day where I turned on this indicator on Bitcoin for the first time on live video. And this 9 showed up, and I just said, you gotta sell. And it led to a 33% correction. And this is not one of those fulfilling prophecies, because no one in crypto even knew this existed as an indicator, as far as I know, not to mention used it publicly. Maybe like 1 or 2 people, very few. So this is an example of perfection 9, because the top, and not by a lot, but the high of this candle, number 9, was greater than the highs of 6 and 7. See, 8 wasn't greater than the high of 6 and 7, but one of them, the high needs to be greater than the high of 6 and 7, okay? And so I'm trying to think of where to start here. I don't want to spend more than an hour on this. I can spend like 3 days on just this indicator. There's just so much there, and so much information is given. So let's start with, so it's clear why we got a 9. We got a 9 because on this one, the close of this candle was higher than 4 candles earlier. 1, 2, 3, 4. And then the close of the next candle was higher than 4 candles earlier, and so on, up to a 9. Because there's just so much buying momentum you can have. So let's talk about what happens when you see a 9 with a red arrow. For starters, I personally love combining a 9 with a reversal candle, which, as you can see, in this particular case, we did not have. So this is not the most ideal environment to short, but it's good enough. Had that been a reversal candle, it would be a lot more, it would be a lot clearer, okay, to do something on that. It would be a lot clearer to at least take profit, okay? So when I see a 9, to me, I would have been in this trade from down here. We're gonna talk about using this for entry points in a little bit, but let's talk about the exit points. So when you see a 9, it instantly tells me, take some profit and be very, very diligent. If there is a reversal candle, 8, 9, or following candle, which could be red or green, take more of a profit. When do you take 100% profit and take your trading position into cash? Well, when the color flips. The flip of a color is known as a price flip. Okay, I actually have not read the book. I'm not good with reading books. There's a book about the syndicator by Jason Pearl about the syndicator. If you're clever and you start Googling, you'll be able to find the PDF of the whole book. And I actually haven't read the book. And there's like, the way I use this thing, like I learned it hands-on. I didn't learn it there through the top of our official thing, but like you look at the indicator enough and you come up with your own niche of using it. And this is the trick, right? Like I don't use this the way professional traders use it. I use half of the tools that professional traders use, and I come up with my own for the rest, make it a little bit different. There's also differences between this code and the official code of the book. But the general idea is the same. You see a 9, there is a high probability the bull trend is coming to an end. Everything I say for the upside works exactly the same for the downside, just the reverse. Question?
What was that understanding, Jason?
Pearl.
This is the book.
Yeah, he's sold the book, so if you want to like look what the cover looks like, it's like that. Yeah, you just go on Amazon, but like I said, if you spend 20 minutes properly Googling, you should be able to find it. So when the 9 comes, now you're going to take your profit. Is there an opportunity to make money from the fall? Well, maybe, right? Now, what I'm about to say may sound like, well, that's almost obvious, but there's a lot of information there. So when I see a 9, all things being equal, and all things are never equal, but assuming all things are equal when you see a 9, you're expecting one of 3 things. Either the 9 is ignored and we continue going higher, starting another 9 count if the trend is really strong. We get a 1 to 4 candle correction, and the 1 to 4 candle correction part is probably not in the book, correct? The 1 to 4 candle correction after a 9 is not mentioned in the book?
No, it's not.
It's not?
I learned that from Wall Street.
Right, and I learned that from Wall Street. Because that's how because a trading desk was using it. And it works really well. But it's not in the book. So you can take something that someone created and make it better, or at least read it better. So it continues going higher, it has a 1 to 4 day correction, or it completely reverses the trend. So all things being equal, we're giving each one of them a 33% probability. But what does that tell you? Only 33% chance of going higher and 66% chance of going lower. But you don't know how far lower. 1 to 4 candle or all the way. If it's all the way, you're looking for a red 9 on the flip side and then reverse your position. Okay? So already there is a 66% chance of you going down. All right? From the start. But all things are never equal, and we'll talk about that. When it comes to figuring out, well, is it a 1 candle correction or a 4? Or in this case, we bled into a 5th candle. You don't know. This is what will separate people that make money from this from people that will lose money from this. Okay? And you really don't know. And this was just such indecision, and then we have one more day. And this day was actually a shorting opportunity, which I probably talked about. All right, so that's what all things being equal. Now, how do you take advantage of the 1 to 4 day correction? Well, this is the weekly time frame. And what you will see right here, you see this candle number 7 that went way up and then went way down? So if you're only looking at the weekly time frame and candle number 7 shows up right here, you're saying, well, I have 2 more weeks of upside. I should not be scared of my bullish position. But let's zoom into the daily time frame. So this is the week of 6/22. Okay? The week of 6/22. So let's go to the daily time frame. And let's move this to the week of 6/22. June, right here. June 20, let's zoom in. Here it is. June 24th. So, oh, is that May? Oh, it's May, sorry. So, hold on a second. Oh, this is also May. Sorry. Yeah. This is also May. Okay. May 22nd. 5/22. And here it is. 5/24. Okay? So this candle came, so 22, 23, 24. So this is the 3rd day of the week, right here. So your weekly is telling you, wait, there's going to be you're expecting 2 more weeks of upside. But your daily hit a 9. All right, why is that happening? Is that from this computer?
I think so.
Can we just mute it? Because that's annoying.
Okay, I think it is muted.
All right. So this was on the So this was a Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. So it's probably a Wednesday. It doesn't matter. That's the point, right? So this was the 3rd candle inside that week. Now that week only has a 7 on it. Okay. Or maybe it's my fault. Hold on. Like an idiot. No, I'm on. No, I'm on mute. Okay. So this was like a day in the middle of that week. And as you can see, this wasn't only a 9, this was also a 13. I haven't even talked about the 13. I'll get to that later. So this was, on the daily chart, this was, hey, you got to pay attention here. You're hitting a 9 and you're hitting 813 on the same day, which is even more of a take profit sell. Now, of course, there's no reversal candle. So I'm not too scared, and I'm like, well, my weekly is telling me I'm going higher. My daily is telling me, hey, you gotta watch out. And as you can see, right after this 9, we had a pretty big 3-day correction. I mean, in terms of Bitcoin, the next day we went as high as 3,000. The next day we hit 3,000, and then we fell by like $800 that day, same day. We went down to 21. That was a huge move. And this actually predicted it pretty well, that there's weakness coming. Now, this is the case where all things are not equal. When this daily 9 is being hit, I'm like, where are my probabilities? Well, the weekly tells me that there's more upside. So there's a higher probability that this 9 is going to be ignored. Almost like this 9 was ignored and we kept going higher. Because weekly is strong with a few more weeks to go. But if you are gonna turn, you should only turn for 1 to 4 candles, which in this case is 1 to 4 days, because your weekly is still strong. So the probability that this daily 9 is going to lead to a major sell-off on a daily chart is very small, because your higher level time frame on the same indicator is looking really good, or coming to an end a little bit later. So when this happens, and by the way, this happened before I ever looked at the indicator. Yeah, because I looked at the indicator for the first time here. Oh wait, so maybe we didn't go to 3,000 there. What was the high on that candle? 2690. Sorry, so we only went to 2,700. Right, the first time I ever looked at this indicator for Bitcoin was here, in this area. So this is like before I ever saw it, but had I seen it, that's what I would have said, because I've been saying it ever since in these situations. So I am putting very little probability on the fact that this daily 9 is going to lead to a big sell-off in the other direction, because my weekly is still bullish. So the 1 to 4 day pullback, once I start seeing weakness, is what I'm betting on. And now I wait and try to time the reversal. Now let's look at what happened next. Go back to the weekly time frame. We're going up, and we made a 9 on a weekly the week of 6/5. So the week of June 5th. Let's go to the daily. So the week of June 5th, so this is June 7th. So once again, in the middle of that week, you get a daily 9. But this daily 9 is coming in inside of a weekly 9. So this time I'm like, whoa, my weekly time frame is telling me I should look for a 1 to 4 week correction. So on a daily time frame, I'm looking for way more weakness. And as you can see, unlike the previous 9, this 9 led to some serious pullbacks, and I wasn't surprised that it ended the day after a 9 in the opposite direction. But this time around, my probability on a daily chart was way higher that we're going to fall all the way and start making TD9 buys instead of just a 1 to 4 day correction. But I am looking for a 1 to 4 week correction. We had a 1 week correction, then we kind of did nothing for 3 weeks, and then we have 1 more week of correction. I'm going to talk about this part as well. But on a daily chart, I'm now looking for more downside. So this is how you best utilize this indicator, all right? This is how you best utilize this indicator. So guys, I know a bunch of you are recording it, so I really hope this doesn't just end up on the internet. But for your own personal, if you're doing it for your own personal, that's fine. Yeah. So I was only looking for 1 to 4 week correction, but then we fell more. And I'm going to talk about this specifically as far as entry and exits. So if you can stack them, you have a weekly 9. Okay, fine. I know this week I may need to take my profit or look for a short. Where inside that week can I best do it? Oh man, here's a daily 9. All right, I'm going to be greedy. I want to find the perfect time to sell within that week. Well, then you zoom in more. Is there a 4-hour 9 inside that day? And is there a 1-hour 9 inside that 4-hour candle? So you can keep zooming in. And if all of them line up, you can time it pretty damn well. This is how I was able to time on live video when Bitcoin was going up to 5,000 and Bitcoin was like 4,950 bucks and just flying higher. And I said on video, I don't think it will make it to 5,000. I think we're about to turn at 49.75 and go down. That's exactly what happened. And I was using this indicator to say that. Because just momentum was just running out. There was like nines everywhere. But that's kind of how I use it. So that's how I view what happens when you hit a 9. Now, which part should I talk about next? So some traders trade this differently. So now let's talk about the entries, and then I'm going to talk about the 13s. So lots of professional traders will only trade after a 9. So a 9 showing up gives you so much information that you know how to play it after a 9. So in this particular case, if you happen to be in the trade, you're taking profit, maybe you can trade it to the downside for a little bit, maybe you can trade it longer, and then you reverse your trade. So the entry point to me for a trade is the moment a number starts trading, like if it's red numbers, bearish counts. The bearish count needs to go below the previous day. Okay? And it happened right here. Okay? So you go down here, and this 3 started trading below the 2. Okay? That's your short entry. Okay? Now, because this 2 never traded below the 1, you're not scared. But the moment this 3 started trading below the 2, you can short and profit from the fall in prices. Now, the next week, it went all the way back up. So your stop loss is up here or the color flip, up to you as a trader. But this was like a $700 drop, so you may want to take some profit. You may not want to wait too long. Same thing on the buy side. You see this green line right here? I've been talking about it in my videos. Once this line got crossed right here, the 3 started trading above the 2, and that is your entry to buy back in according to this indicator. See, the 2 candle, the candle with the 2 on top of it, never traded at a higher price than the 1. So this is not an indication to buy Bitcoin yet. This is an indication to buy Bitcoin when this candle starts trading above this candle. Okay? So that's how you enter. So here's where one trader is different from the other. When it comes to this indicator, I like being an active trader. So there's 2 ideas here. One is you always assume that a 9 is coming. So every time there is a green number higher than a prior green number the first time, you get in. But, and I don't have it on a weekly chart, but on a daily chart, if I open them all up, right? Like, when this 9 came, a trader would have looked to profit from the short side. But once the numbers started flipping back and forth, the trader stops trading this mess and it waits for a 9. And then the 9 came right here. And I called this rebound perfect. The 9 itself was not a reversal candle, but it alerts me that a reversal may be coming. And then the next day, there was a reversal candle at a trend line support. And I was very bullish. Now, I was only bullish for 1 to 4 days and then reevaluate. Because during this initial rebound, the weekly chart was ugly. The weekly chart was warning me that there could be 6 more candles of downside into a red 9. This was no longer a 1 to 4 week pullback. This was now, whoa, this was a short entry where we might go to a red 9. So when you're entering this, you are at the moment going against the weekly short trend. The weekly trend is bearish. The daily trend is bullish, but it's bullish in a way that I call it a tradable bounce. It's a tradable against the trend bounce. And that's when you can kind of pick it up. And then you reevaluate after 4 candles. But look, the 4th candle was a monster upswing because of segment. And then you just stay with the trade or add to the trade, right? Because once this 2 started trading above this 1, you had more reason to be bullish. And once this 3 started trading above this 2, you have more reason to be bullish. And on the weekly side, you price flip. And on the weekly side, you went really bullish at 28.83. It was like a lifetime ago, now that we're at 5,400. But this was just a few months ago, guys. And I called this one pretty well. And then you're in the trade. So this is what I mean, like some professional traders would have picked it up here, but once this price flip happened, you exit the trade with a profit and you're not in. Like I was very adamant just this week, earlier this week, the moment this came on Monday, I specifically made a video saying, this indicator is telling me the moment this 2 started trading above this 1, I was screaming buy on a long-term level of the weekly chart. But some professional traders would not have taken this trade. Once the pattern ends, they wait for a 9 and then trade following the 9. So they're hoping for like 9 to a 4-day correction into another 9, or 9 to a 9 to a 9 to a 9. And once it starts going up and down, they're out and they wait for the trend to reveal themselves. Okay. So my last thing to cover on this is the count. So that was the TD setup. The TD setup is these numbers I have on top, either red or green. Now let's talk about the countdown. The countdown are these numbers on the bottom. And the numbers on the bottom only begin after a 9 occurred. So remember what I said earlier. When you get a 9, the most likely outcome is a 1 to 4-day correction. Then in the same trend as the 9. So if it's a green 9 to the upside, TD9 sell, 1 to 4-day correction, especially if your higher level time frame is on like a 4 or 5. And then you go back up. So once you start going up again, let's go to the daily, only because it's clearer. I want to get like a 13 go here. Okay, so where are we here? Now I'm looking for like a good one.
You have a 913 right before that triangle.
Yeah, but I want to explain where the 13 is coming from in a clean way. Wow, there's a lot of 9s here. All right, let us start from the low, right? So here we go. Here's a hammer candle. You know, this indicator didn't help you to buy this low, but here's a hammer candle. The next candle is trading at a higher high. Now you have a price flip. And you see how this 2 traded above this 1? Boom, I'm in the trade. Right there. If I was like nervous, right? So I'm in this trade at 1,040. Okay? Where am I? I'm right here. Maybe I should move it into the middle a little bit. Let's do it this way. Maybe I can zoom in somewhere. Make it bigger. All right. So hammer candle. I don't really have, my indicator isn't helping me here. Hammer candle, higher high, trend lines being broken, some maybe, right? So, okay, maybe I should get in, but this indicator is still bearish. Maybe I'll get in a little, maybe I'll wait. Right, another high, price flip. Okay, maybe I'll get in, maybe I'll wait. Right here, there's no more waiting. Like right here, you know, you're coming off a reversal candle, you're above a trend line. I already have a giant green arrow here that I must have drawn off of this area. I mean, I have my reasons, I'm sure, if you watch the videos. I draw all these things in real time on my videos, free on YouTube. But anyway, right here is undeniable, right? And this was also way before I was ever looking at this indicator. And that 13 probably shouldn't be here. It's like a minor bug in the code. I was hoping that would come up. Anyway, I'm in this trade as of this 2. I'm hitting a 9, and I'm like, all right, 1 to 4 day correction happens to be 1 day, right? So what happens? Ignore discounts here, unfortunately, because, yeah, there's too many 9s. It's Bitcoin. Anyway, when you get this 9, if this 9 is the most likely scenario of a short correction and go up, it kicks off a countdown. Right, so this 9 did not lead to a change in trend. Therefore, this 9 is the beginning of a bigger trend. So it kicks off a 1 to 13 countdown, and they do not have to be consecutive. It's a different math formula. Very simple. You're comparing a candle to 2 candles earlier without it being consecutive. And there are rules that knock this out, right? Like, oh, something happened and the countdown should be deleted. And I have to add 1 more parameter for deletion. So this 9, there's a 1 under this 13, you just can't see it, can't display multiple numbers. And that's why it starts with a 2, because that's a 1. And then it goes. So when a 13 shows up, it means that whatever this 9 started has been exhausted. So this is a good indication of a 9 creating this 13, followed by another 9. So this is actually a pretty good take your profit indication, but this 9 was ignored. And it kicked off another 9. But this 9 kicked off a 13. So there was a 13 on the bottom. This 9 kicked off a 13, so it's only up to an 8. You get a 9, so this 8 is telling you, hey, there's a reason to stay long. It's not as strong of a reason, but if your weekly chart is bullish, then this 9 will certainly only lead to a short-term correction, and then this 9 will kick off a 13 count. Now, this 13 belongs to this 9. This 9 kicks off its own 13. So this would be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and here's the 7. Right there. So we're still working on a 13, and then we have this 9, 13 on the same day. This 9 kicked off its own 13 count. So, and you just keep going, okay? Now, so if you get a 9, and then you go higher, you're looking for a 13 that exhausts that 9, and if the 9 and 13 come on the same day, or the 13 comes slightly before the 9, that's a pretty good indication that things are coming to an end of the trend. I think that's pretty much all I wanted to say, and this is applied quite often. I mean, here's the 5,000 point high, and why I was able to call it to like almost to $1, because I was watching this in real time, and this is kind of complicated in Bitcoin because different exchanges will have these things in different places. There's no one perfect price to use for Bitcoin. This is Bitfinex. Bitfinex just made it perfectly, 13.9 at 5,000. And if I zoom in, what happened? This was the week of September 1st, right? So we're doing a live show on Friday of that week, the week of September 1st. So this would have been like September 4th or 5th or something. And I'm seeing this on the daily chart, but my weekly chart for 5,000 is only here. So my weekly chart was on a 7. So I'm thinking, okay, so this 7 reminds me of this 7, so I have 2 more weeks of upside. But I'm still a little nervous. So I'm looking for a 1 to 4 day correction and then back to the upside. So when this was happening daily, I was warning people, hey, I think September 1st might have been a Friday actually, let me see. So this is the week of the 28th, right? August 28th, August has 31 days, right? Right? Yeah. So 28th is Monday, 29th is Tuesday, 30th is Wednesday, 31st is Thursday, so the first was a Friday. So this was the Friday when we're doing the Bitcoin group, which is a Friday show. And I'm watching this, hey guys, there's a 913 forming on this day. This is it. I mean, it's gotta take at least a 1 to 4 day correction. Now, I screwed up on whether it will be a 1 day correction or a 4 day correction. I initially thought that, hey, this is it. This was a bad day, and then we're gonna reverse from here, but then the China news broke and we went a little bit lower. Ignore the Fibonacci's, they're not for this particular presentation. But anyway, so again, this is the difference between getting it right. Like the rules say, 1 to 4 day correction, and it happened exactly like that. But if you think it's a 1 day correction, you can still lose a bunch of money, okay? So anyway, when we reversed, I thought we were gonna go higher, but then the China news got really, really bad. And this was the 5-1, so we never made it to the weekly 9. We fell lower, but I was, I called the 3,000 bounce for different reasons. I called it because it was a prior high, so I had other reasons to see 3,000 as a support level. But on the way down, we did have a 9 here telling you to buy. And then you go back in, whipsawed you a little bit. If you got scared and went back to cash, this 2 barely traded above this 1, but then the 3 clearly traded above the 2, and then you're in. This 9 told you to be careful, 1 to 4 day correction. Just happened last week. I was calling this one in real time, and boom, now we're breaking out. But let's go back to this day, right? So it's Friday. So weekly is telling us there's more upside, but daily is telling us to be careful. Let's see if we have a good time in the middle of that day to sell it perfectly. So this is the day of September 1st. See what time, okay? This is September 1st. Let's go to the 4-hour chart and let's go to September 1st. Where am I here? Oh wow. Yeah. I think next time I do this video, I won't be able to scroll this far back. September 19th, I think. Oh, it's just August already. Good. Let's go to September. Here it is, September 1st, right? So here's September 1st, right? September 1st begins with this candle. So this is midnight on September 1st, Eastern time. You had a 9, 8 hours into the day. So at 8 in the morning, Eastern time, you got a 9. Now, it didn't perfectly call the top. The top happened at the very end of the day at 1600 Eastern, which is 4 p.m. And again, those of you that watch our show know that the Bitcoin group, when we're not traveling, airs Friday at 4 p.m. Eastern time now. So we were doing the show right on this candle. And I called it, and I said, hey, the high is going to be 49.75. We shouldn't go higher than that. And this 9 helped me. I'm like, all right, we got a 9 on the daily. We got a 9 on the 4-hour inside that day at 8 in the morning. So I've already seen the 9. So I'm like, this is a warning. Let's go. We can go in further. This is going to be a big scroll. What about hourly? Was there a 9 on the 1-hour chart after the 9 on the 4-hour chart to give you even a better signal? So this is what? This is 927, oh boy. See, hourly chart is a little more scrolling. 914, we're getting there. 96, 95, 91. And look at the hourly chart. Again, the code is putting it in real time. This isn't like Elliott waves and I went back and changed something. All right. So there it is. 9-1 at 2100 hours. So about an hour or two after the Bitcoin group ended when I set it live. So on a daily chart, if I turn them all on, which is sometimes annoying, there it is. So you have a 9 immediately into another 9, right? So you actually have a 9, 13, 9. Though this 13 came from that 9. So you have more 13s to go. And there it is, right? Here's the 9 that called the previous top of 5,000 in Bitcoin to within the hour of taking your profit and looking for shorting opportunities. Now, because there was a 9 a few candles earlier on the 4-hour and a 9 right there on the daily, the same day, my hourly trade, if I'm using hourly candles to trade, I'm like, well, there's no way this is going to be a 1 to 4 hour correction. This is going to be a longer correction on the hourly chart. This might be a longer correction on the 4-hour chart, but the daily chart, I was looking for a 1 to 4 day because the weekly was still bullish. If the weekly was also giving me a 9, I would have seen this as even a bigger red flag that we're going down. And the hourly eventually gave you a 9 buy, eventually. 2 days later, led to a decent run up, almost made it, and then again, you got to check it with higher time frames. Here's the 13 that times you nicely, though the numbers on top are more relevant than the numbers on the bottom. The setup is more important than the countdown, and off we go. But this is how you can use this indicator to zoom in and see if it gives you better trading opportunities, okay? I think that's all I wanted to say about this indicator. We can pull up other charts randomly, even the stuff I haven't looked at. I keep making fun of Bcash, and if you look at Bcash, it's on a 7 going down. So if it gets to a 9, maybe they'll get a little bit of a rebound. We'll see. Like this 9 gave them a day, and this 9 gave them a nice little green day, but didn't go anywhere. And like maybe the next 9 will give them a day. Who knows? Who cares? Here's gold. Here's gold. I mean, I could throw the indicator on and see what we get. We made it to a 9. Not ideal, not perfected, so not as strong. Would have been nice to see it perfectly timed, but it was timed enough. 1 to 4 candle correction. Some people ask me, does the 9 count as the 1 to 4? I honestly don't know. I usually don't count the 9 candle as the 1 to 4, but it could be. I mean, if there's only 2 candles after the 9 that's correct, then the 9 could be 1 out of 4, right? It fits the parameters. Like here's a nice 9 on gold that times you perfectly at the top. I like it. Like it works weird. Like even if I tried some like experiments, like I throw it on random stuff, and I'm like, wow, that's ironic. Like here's the monthly chart of Bitcoin on Mt. Gox, the most liquid exchange at the time. And look, this is the bubble that I talked about. This is the bubble to $30, and the 9 came right. It didn't perfectly time it, but that's pretty damn good. And this one just kept going, and look, there was a 9 on Mt. Gox prices at the all-time high of 1,200. I mean, it's just like even, and then I was like working on something else. I was working on on my new presentation. Oh, by the way, tomorrow night I'm at a meetup. If you just Google, LA meetup. Anders is running that meetup. I can Google for it. Century City, sure. I mean, I have the address. There's a meetup tomorrow night. I'm not gonna do the same presentation I did yesterday. I'm gonna spend all day tomorrow working on a new presentation. That presentation is gonna be comparing the ICO bubble to the IPO bubble of the 90s. And hopefully I have time all day tomorrow to work on it, but life sometimes gets in the way. I have so much other stuff to catch up on and do. But I'm gonna try to spend all day tomorrow working on a new presentation. And I already started working on that presentation. Like I kind of try to follow like Einstein's method. Like if you have 1 hour to solve a problem, you should spend 15 minutes thinking about the problem and 10 minutes trying to solve it. So I've been thinking about this presentation for a long time. I've been Googling and reading for a long time, but I have not started putting it together yet. So hopefully I can put it together in one day now that all this stuff is in my head. And I was just looking at NASDAQ. And I think this is the chart. Nope, not this one. Oh man, where is it? Maybe it's MDX. Oh, there's another one. There's two NASDAQ versus Microsoft. I think it's this one. Right. I was just looking at NASDAQ. So this is just NASDAQ. Oh, I can't shift it. This is NASDAQ linear, right? But it's a monthly chart. So you still have these lines because the software knows what price the month-end price was to give you this point. So this is just a line connecting month-end prices of the NASDAQ index. And if I go back to the .com bubble, I mean, there it is. On a monthly chart of the NASDAQ index, ended on a 9. Yeah, I'm not saying that every time there is a 9, shit's gonna go bad, but if shit goes bad, you probably should have been looking for a 9. Right. Yeah, so that was kind of fascinating to me. And I've thrown it on a bunch of other stuff, and it's really, really interesting. Now, in terms of the NASDAQ, this is way more of a self-fulfilling prophecy because there are professional traders with a lot of money that are looking at this and get notified about this from professional sources whose only job is to spot these 9s and 13s on the indicators. But in Bitcoin, I know this isn't happening. So when I started using this indicator on Bitcoin, I knew it wasn't a self-fulfilling prophecy. It may be now because of me, but in the beginning it wasn't. And I was like, wow, it's actually calling them pretty well. And we can grab old coins, right? We can look at Ethereum or Litecoin. Let's do Litecoin. I don't know which chart. I can pull up weekly Litecoin and daily Litecoin. And I don't want to get into the discussion of whether you should look at it against the dollar or against Bitcoin. I like looking at it against Bitcoin. What am I looking at here? This is the daily. Let's look at the weekly. So here's the weekly Litecoin. And like I said, when shit goes bad, you probably should have been looking for a 9. It doesn't, like I said, it doesn't always happen. And let's look at the daily. This is the recent daily. And again, right here on the daily chart, probably could have helped. This 9 up didn't do much. And this 9 up also didn't do much. So they're not perfect, but I really like using them as a tool. Again, I can grab Ether as well. Let's see if there's been anything interesting. Has Ether been going down? Because people keep texting me asking me where the bottom is, and I'm like, I don't know what the price of Ether is. Has it been falling? Was it falling 4 days ago or something? Right, where's Bitcoin? I don't care what it is against the dollar. Let's take a look. All right, so I don't have Ether weekly. I should. I don't know why I have 2 daily of Ether. I think one of them should have been weekly. Oh, one is Polo, one is Bitfinex. Anyway, let's look at the last one. So here's Ethereum daily, and here's the daily Ethereum. Well, you had a 9 here. You had a 9 here leading to a little bit of a bounce. Oh yeah, this is bad. Well, I've been very bearish either because of the moving average cross as well. See, the last time, is this the one where I have it circled? No, it's probably the other one. Oh, I got too many charts saved. I forget that I have charts, I make new charts. But yeah, you can see the moving average cross, which is very bearish. And yeah, so once this 9 did not lead to a turnaround, you're waiting for the countdown. See, the countdown began right here with a 1. Sometimes it starts on this candle, but it didn't meet the conditions. So now you're looking for a 13 to the downside because this became a short. The moment the 2 started trading below the 1, you're shorting Ethereum and going long Bitcoin. And it's still going down, and now you're waiting for a 9 in red to potentially bounce, or a 13 on the bottom to potentially bounce. Okay? All right, questions? Because more volume is traded, because the volume, this is where the volume comes in. Because most of the volume is trading Ethereum versus Bitcoin, not Ethereum versus the dollar. And in addition, if you're in crypto, you should judge everything against buy and hold Bitcoin. You're not judging how you've done. I mean, 90% of crypto traders don't touch the S&P 500. Like when you trade stocks, at the end of the day, you gotta evaluate, did your trading beat the S&P 500, right? Where's your opportunity cost? Was it better to be a buy and hold, right? In crypto, if you're in crypto and you're not trading, your opportunity cost is buying and holding Bitcoin. So you judge it against Bitcoin. You judge all crypto against Bitcoin. But if you weren't a trader and you wanted to be in crypto, you should be only holding Bitcoin. So that's how you judge it. Now, the round numbers do matter. So the only time I recommend looking at altcoins in terms of dollars is when they're hitting round numbers. So when like Monero is going to hit 100 or 150, these round numbers matter because they're psychological points. So outside of large round numbers, I would always compare it against Bitcoin. Right, question? Really?
Yes.
All right. So I think a client of mine, so the way I work is this. I don't care about altcoins, but when my clients do call me for private consulting, I mean, they're the boss, right? So if a client calls me and wants to, I had a client call me, wanted to look at Mastercoin. Fine. Ironically, I actually know exactly what that is because the Native American chief that created Mastercoin, like I remember his pitch from the New York days at the Bitcoin Center. So I was familiar with its launch back in the day. So that one wasn't new to me. But so I think I looked at EO, and that's why I probably have the chart saved. Trust me, it's not for my own personal use. You can see it right there. The last time the chart was updated was September 5th. That means the last time I ever looked at this chart was September 5th. So let's go and take a look. And it's a weekly chart. I'll flip to daily. I just didn't have multiple charts saved. I'll even make it big screen. So here's the weekly chart, and what is it telling you? Well, this 9 should have told you that if you were long NEO, get the hell out. Okay? Now, what else you can, this will kind of look like a descending triangle, and it did not break out to the downside, broke out to the upside, right? But this 9 is now working on a countdown, because see how it went up after the 9? So now you're at a 7. So the only thing you have working for you for NEO, it still looks good actually. I mean, it's bullish, right? So there is nothing here because it made a higher high, right? So I don't see anything here. I mean, you did have a price flip. So if the next candle is red, and it goes lower than this, the setup is telling you to short. But the countdown is telling you to be long into a 13. So it's a bit of a clash, so I probably wouldn't touch it, okay? But let's take a look at the daily. That was the weekly, here's the daily. I mean, yeah, so here they are. So the RSI still has a little bit of room before it gets to oversold. The MACD is bearish, right? So the MACD went bearish right here with the MACD crossover. Maybe I can zoom in on that, right? So there's the MACD crossover. So the MACD is telling you to be careful right here. This 2 trading below the 1 was shortable. Here's the 50-day moving average. You're below the 50-day moving average, also telling you to short. You fell, you went back into the moving average, and then you fell again. So this, on a daily chart, this has been a short since the 9th. Okay, so the daily told you to short, and right now you're still short. Even though there was a 3 out of 13, this was a bit of a weaker 9. This 9 also helps you a little bit. It came in near the top, okay? And this 9 told you to buy, and it bounced, and there we go, okay? I guess we can, what time is it? It's 2:30. Let's take, you guys want to take, you know what, let's go 10 more minutes. I'll take some Q&A. Then we'll take a 15-minute break, and then we'll figure out what we're going to do from 3 to 5. So I got 10 more minutes of questions. What do you guys got right there?
Do you have an opinion on the more detailed TV indicators like TV, camouflage, clock?
No. I've never looked at them. There's about 24 different versions of TD indicator from the creator of the TD indicator, right? Not to mention all of the other variations by other people. I don't have that kind of time. Now, the one thing that I should probably add to the code is the concept of TTST, which is like this indicator does not only give you the direction and the change in trend, it also helps you identify potential price targets. And that I also have not been using because it's just too much, and I never had time to properly use it and properly test it. But the TTST from that book is useful, and I should take time out of my schedule, learn it, so that I can teach it to others.
The ST you said?
TTST. Yeah. It shows you the price targets. You'll get to it in the book. Next.
How do you think the price is affected when, or if in the event that there are like these investors who are sending themselves transactions, trying to make it seem like there's more volume?
In Bitcoin?
Yeah.
I don't think it affects it that much. Yeah, I don't look at the order book, and I've told people in real time. Someone is like, "Oh my God, there's like this giant buyer that's about to buy." I'm like, "No, he's not." He's like, "No, but I see there's this monster order he's getting rid of." I'm like, "No, he's not." And at the moment the price gets closer, it's like, "Oh shit, it disappeared. Why did it disappear?" I told you it's not. Like it's because why would a real trader be? If it's a real trader with a lot of money, why is he dumb enough to show you in advance what he's going to do? He's not. That's why I don't look at the order book. Right. I don't trust the order book. Because it's just there to fake you out. So there you go. I had a question there.
Yeah, so a lot of us are here long term, and the trend is obviously up for Bitcoin. The shirt says buy dip. So that's kind of what I would use this for, is ways to buy, increase my position. You said you talked about the 3 times when you're looking at 9, what's hopefully going to happen. You look to really jump in large with a 913 on the upside because I haven't seen much of that yet.
Yeah, well, Bitcoin doesn't go down all that much, but you saw it here. If you go back to my Twitter, and Twitter is there, but like if you go to the daily chart, like, is this daily? No, it's 4 hour. If you go to the daily chart and you look at, go find videos from this point in time. So this is July 15th. So if you go to my Twitter on July 15th, or July 15 to 18, and you probably saw it in my other presentation. No, I even have the tweets, hold on. If I go to here, oh, by the way, so in order to find this presentation, like, all you have to do is go to Google, you type in Prezi, it's like I told you this morning. You type in Prezi, and then you type my name. Oh, that's T Prezi. I don't know where the T came from. Prezi, and then you just type my name. And all my presentations are going to come up, right? So this is the presentation that you just watched. So I am going to update it so it'll have a new title, may not have as much of an SEO. So if you click on it, and that's the presentation you just watched. But if you click on my name inside Prezi, you will have access to all my presentations. All right? And the one I gave yesterday was this one. This is what I'm doing now. This is the ICO bubble that I'm working on. It has 2 slides on it so far. And this is the one I gave yesterday. And the part that I didn't get to yesterday was the very end. And that's what I'm going to show you guys now. This was presentation from last night. It's still loading. A lot of slides there. It's like 70 slides. I got it done in what, 20 minutes? But it's a lot of zooming in and out. That's the buy call I mentioned off the TD indicator. Yeah, it's still loading. So we'll let it load. All right. So here's the tweet. Here's the initial tweet, right? You see the weekly chart? This is when I had a slightly different here, so they're orange, but now they're red. So the 3 started trading below the 2, so the weekly went bearish. As of today, when did I send this tweet? There's no timestamp. Oh, there it is. 10th of July. Right? Twitter is a blockchain, guys. I can't go back and edit my tweets. Oh, perfect timestamp. As of today, Bitcoin on both daily and weekly candles is on a short trade. Good luck, traders with shorting. Bitcoin is a dangerous trade, especially short trade. And I'm supporting the user activated software, right? So this week, right here, 3 starts trading below the 2. It's a short play. What happened on this day? Here's the daily chart. The price flip, go to cash. Boom. A red number starts trading below the prior red number. Sell short. And if you were long, get the hell out, go to cash. As a trader. If this, I also like to see it visibly lower. Visibly lower. If this wasn't visibly low enough, you wait. Then the next candle is not lower than the previous candle. So you wait. But the 4 is clearly lower than the 3. And this was a very bad day. And here I am saying, it's now short on weekly, it's short on daily. How low can we go? And I draw this arrow, and I say, critical support levels. Go look at my spelling, guys. I can't spell to save my life. And I circled all of the possible support points. But remember, I'm looking for a 9 and a support point. And you see the star right here? That's the perfect support point I'm looking for. Let's see what happened next. Next tweet, July 15. No, wait. I'm sorry. This tweet was 10th of July, and this tweet was 15th of July. Right, so that was the 4 candle. Okay, that was the 4 candle, and I was looking for support at this green and horizontal line as my star. So here it is. Let's zoom in. What happened next? Here's the weekly, and that was the short, the moment 3 started trading below the 2. Let's look at the daily. You see me circle this 9 right here? What does it say? This is a perfected TD9 buy. Take your profit from a short. And then I have right here, critical support, potential bounce to top of green channel at 2300. Right here is 2300. Right? I see a 9. And I'm like, and I circle perfection buy. I'm trying to buy, but this is not a reversal candle. So I want to buy it, but I need something more. I need, hopefully, let's touch this support. Let's get a reversal candle. And at the least, we go back to the top of the channel for a 1 to 4 day bounce against the weekly trend, and then reevaluate. Do we need to go back to short, or is it going to keep going? Okay? I didn't tweet the next day because I was busy. But the day after that, on the 17th of July, here's what happened. We had a reversal candle the next day at the support point that I circled 7 days earlier with a star on. Okay? The arrow, what do I say? Critical support held. The TD indicator does not say buy because I need a green number higher than another green number, right? But it is a tradable dead cat bounce for 1 to 4 days, plus support, plus reversal candle. I had enough here to have confidence to buy in, even without the TD indicator giving me a buy entry. Okay? So what happened next? Do I have it? I don't have it. But I can go to the other chart. But here's that candle. This was a red 2. This was, let's see, here's the close, right? 1, 2, 3, 4. Is this higher close than this candle? Did this candle here close higher than this candle there? No. Come on, guys. What did you learn in the first half of the class? Green closes at the top, red closes at the bottom. Right? So this candle closed higher than 4 candles earlier. So this candle will have a green 1 on it. This candle will have a green 2 on it. Because this candle closed higher than that candle. 4 candles earlier. Alright? You guys know what I'm saying? So this had a green 1, this had a green 2. You can see that this green 2 had a higher high than this green 1. Maybe by a few bucks. Maybe it's not enough for you to enter. But the next candle was undeniable. So even though I took the bullish trend, I took the bullish trade here for a 1 to 4 candle bounce, the 4th candle was so strong that I'm staying in the trade. Right? So my initial expectation was only for a 1 to 4 day bounce and then try to short it. It turned out that the long trade kept going. And it gave me this beautiful triangle. And this is the triangle within the triangle. Somebody questioned this earlier, right? So this is known as a flag pennant. I didn't talk about that in this presentation. It's another chart pattern. So when I saw this flagpole with a flag, my target is the length of this giant green candle. And I'm like, oh, we should have a $600 move to the upside. But it didn't happen. It didn't happen, but it gave me this ascending triangle. And this ascending triangle has the same target, the fat part of the triangle, which is a $600 daily candle. This one? What about the what I missed?
Siri.
Oh. Oh, really? Oh, wow, that's hilarious. I'm not a Mac user, guys. No iPhones. And now I get the joke. So I had another reason to draw another $600 target from the triangle. From this triangle, see how this is a little bit higher than that? Because this target starts from here, and this target starts from here. Now, as you can see, my tweets are very elaborate. It takes me sometimes an hour to put together a tweet, to draw this chart, stuff like that, right? Like when you guys see these 10, 15-minute videos in the morning, you have to realize that took over an hour of my time, because I gotta coordinate with the World Crypto Network, I gotta coordinate with Thomas Hunt. We get on a call, we talk a little bit, then we shoot the show, then we talk a little bit after on what the hell is going on. Like what you absorb is like a 10-minute video. In reality, that's an hour plus of my time, plus dealing with comments then after. And if something goes wrong in the middle of it, we gotta redo it, right? So you have to realize that. So when I saw this forming, I sent out this tweet, right here. Boom. This looks promising. 3,500, here we come. Love the Bitcoin ascending triangle. Bitcoin to the moon. That was just the extra character, right? So there it is. I can't wait till Twitter gives me 280. I think I'm gonna be the last one. I think Twitter knows that I'm gonna exhaust 280 in all my tweets. So everyone else around me already is able to use 280. I'm still at 120. So there it is. See, I sent out this tweet. I'm like, wow, beautiful triangle, $600 target. Here we come. Here's the textbook picture, and here's what happened. Boom. There it is, and the target got met 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 days to reach our target. How high did we go? Oh, into a 9 and then slowed down. All right. So I'm not sure what got me onto this tangent, but that's the bottom. That's fine. All right. So that's my other presentation. So let's go back to the charts. So this is an example of a 9 on the bottom. I don't remember the last time we had a 913 on the bottom, because Bitcoin just doesn't go down long enough. I mean, if you look at an hourly chart or a 4-hour chart, maybe you'll find one. Like here's a 4-hour chart. We had a 9. Not too many 13s. Here's a 13 standalone. Here's a 9. Right. So Bitcoin just doesn't go down all that much, right? Like here's a 4-hour chart. Here's a 9 telling you to buy. Not literally buy, but it's just called a TT9 buy. You have to still use discretion. But anyway, you get the idea. All right, it's 5:51. My computer's on New York time. It's 2:51. Let's take a little break, and then we'll figure something out for the next hour or two. Maybe I'll just do questions because it's supposed to run to 5. I'll hold that promise. But I'm pretty much done educating. At this point, it's just whatever you guys can get the most out of.
Hey, tell them. Yeah.
Exactly the same summer.